Greetings, everybody. I'm live. Stephen Williams here. Y'all tell him, come in. Tonight, we are on for a special Behind the Veil. I'm Stephen Williams. They call me the good bishop, and ain't nobody good but like our God. Listen, this is gonna be wonderful. I got an old song that's playing in the background. I'm gonna bring my friend in 1 second, and we're gonna have a good time, y'all, tonight. Y'all, everybody, let them know we on right now. This is an old song right here, Mischeal, with me and Dion Harrison. Boy, I can bring him some crazy stuff. We getting ready for the book of Mischeal. We can't play no more of his music. Oh, Lord. Y'all just let your neighbor and your friend know. We on Behind the Veil. And we get ready to talk tonight. It's going to be great. In fact, I'm going to let that. I'm bringing my friend on in. Sing, Dion. You don't know nothing about that, Mischeal.
He said I withhold no good thing from you, yeah. You just have the faith to do what I say do. Because your blessing.
That's when I had good boys.
All the enemies trying to make you down. You must not give up now because my God is coming through. Yeah,
y'all coming on.
The blessings are coming to you. Hey, your miracle is on the way, y'all. Your blessing is on its way. Yeah. I said your blessing is on its way. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes. Coming your way. So don't you dare.
Byron Lattimore.
They will. You don't know when or how.
I played this tonight because I want you to know your blessings are getting ready to come, and they're going to overtake you. We got 1 more week, 2 more weeks. Dion was singing, wasn't he? What's going on, fam? This is Stephen Williams. They call me the good bishop. And ain't nobody good like our God. I just want to hear his voice. Blessings. The book of Mischeal is coming. It's going to be a blessing. Boy, I got music everywhere. Mischeal. That's old school, y'all. What's going on, Charmaine? Byron Lattimore. I still don't have your paraphernalia. You're a trip, man. You got to give us some of your own point or something you got. Listen, I'm here with my good friend Mischeal Goldsmith, and y'all, it's coming up October 8th. The book of Mischeal, the October 8th, 5 o'clock. Lord, we getting there. Mischeal, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm looking at this. I'm sure is getting white in here. Lord. Jesus. I don't know what's going on. I think it's my barber. He need to clean his clippers.
Really? Is that what?
Yeah, he need to clean it.
Is that what we going? It's a lot of little white up there, Michial.
I bet I won't be white October the 8th. I'm gonna do something.
Really? Really?
I go on video with all this. Jeez.
I'm talking about you might as well just let all the gray come in. You know, that's in right now. You know, just go on and do that and tighten
Ah,
all that up for the recording. Christina said that's wisdom. Yes.
oh,
We,
bless your heart, sister. Bless your heart.
yeah, we're gonna wait on him.
Uh,
But she said that's wisdom right there.
okay.
If you say so, I say it's gray.
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
So where are we, man? Tell us about the progress of the recording and the rehearsals and uh oh, they tripping tonight already. You going down there just for me?
That's all. Uh, man, listen, rehearsal yesterday. Man, I don't know. I think it's one of them. It's one of them concerts where you got about 4 or 5 songs. That's about 5 or 6 songs where you like. You know what? We may not get out of we might not get out of this one. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of feel, man. Rehearsal was amazing yesterday. You could feel we could feel God's presence in the room. Even
Jermaine said rehearsal was
and as
amazing.
soon as we did opening prayer, you could feel like God just really just sat in the room and he gave you can feel him giving his approval on every song. You know, when we were going over it, man. And I just can't wait for people to be there, like to experience it. I think I shared with the choir, it's an amazing feeling. What's up, Charles?
Yes, sir. What's up, Charles?
It's an amazing feeling to write music. It's an amazing gift to write music. It's an amazing feeling to teach it and have people to give back to you what you heard. You
Oh,
know what I'm
that's
saying?
great. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And so that's what I was experiencing yesterday. And then watching God put his stamp on it with his presence just in rehearsal, not on the event, but in rehearsal. So rehearsal was amazing yesterday. The musicians are working and they sounding good. Charles is our production manager for this, and he's making sure that on the production end, the lighting, the sound, and all of that is like what it need to be. My team is amazing, man, and so I just can't wait for everybody. Man, listen, y'all got to get y'all tickets. If you hadn't got them, you need to get them. And look, we selling tickets because we ain't gonna have time to stop for offering because we don't know where offering gonna be. And Bishop Williams is presiding, and y'all know what that's getting ready to be. So wherever God is, that's where we going.
So tell us, Micheal, because you brought up something that's very important. Uh, what's up, Brian? You brought up something very important. Your team, and talk about the importance. Because Richard talked about that last time when we were talking about doing a recording, and and assembling a whole group. And we really did put a lot of focus on, Charles with his production and the musicians and all of that. But tell me about your because administration is crucial in something like this. For those of you who are going to do a recording, the administrative arm is just as important as the production arm. So let's talk about that, man.
Yeah, so I was prayerful about who I was gonna get to be my administrator. And Tanya lives in Atlanta, and she works in corporate America. So she was able to organize my thoughts beyond the music, right? So like organizing my thoughts as far as music is concerned comes natural, and organizing what I want to see comes natural. But the administrative part, like, because you're talking about putting the choir together, which means you got to manage a large group of people as far as getting information to them so they know what's going on, and keeping everybody organized, because you can't manage a choir by yourself without proper administration. So like their administration went beyond just managing the choir, but making sure what we needed at the event is set up like it need to be. Even the things that they're talking about before people get there, the preparation for VIP, the preparation for parking, who gonna be in what room, and all of that. I mean, I
What's up,
guess if
Shaquilla?
all I had to do, I probably could figure that out. But to have somebody to handle that side, so you can focus on the creative side, I wouldn't advise anybody to do it at this level and not have a team of people who focused on certain things, just to make sure the whole vision comes in fruition.
So who makes up your team?
So I have Tanya Allen is my lead administrator. Pam Spalding assists her at administrating. Charles Harris is a production manager. I have D'Angelo Stevens as my MD, but Rashad plays a role in that too. So my whole band, there's somebody for the band, production manager that's making sure the sound, because we're recording, but we're doing a video recording. So I had to give my vision for that to my production manager to make sure that went off like it needed to get. And I had an administrator for the whole process to make sure, everything is done. Everybody know what's going on, where they need to be. And like the ticket sales and all that, setting all that stuff up, all of that's done through administration. So it takes a whole, hey, Lala, it takes a whole
What's up,
team.
Lala?
It takes a whole team. I expect to see you, Lala, October the 8th.
October the 8th, 5 o'clock, Lala.
Yeah, I
You
don't
got to
know where
get
you're going to be, but where you supposed to be, where you need to be, is in Walkertown. But yeah, Bishop, it takes a team. If you're gonna do it, it takes a team. And truthfully, even after it's over with, you still need a team. I don't think you can get anything done by yourself.
Yeah, and that is absolutely true. I wanted to ask you another question. Yeah, we may have a special guest coming on today,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to ask you another thing about that whole notion of people with a vision, and and how has, we always say if you have a vision, God will always provide. He'll put the pro. So how has outside of this team, because I think when we were sharing and we were talking, you said, I just started asking people and people started uh, sharing their gifts and all of that. So take me through when you first started seeing this vision and the pro that has been happening along the way. Let's talk about that.
So initially, the vision was, and I know you're asking that question because you've been a part of that process,
You're
with me.
right, Lala. Team is a must.
Yes. So initially, the vision was simply me getting in my studio and just programming what I was hearing, right? Initially,
Right,
that's
right, right.
all it was. And then as music kept coming, I was like, man, I need to. I felt the unction that I needed to record it, some type of video. And immediately, I was talking to certain people, just asking, man, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Let me know what you think. And this was months ago. This is what I'm thinking. I'm not sure where I'm going to do it at. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'm about to do something. That's kind of how I hinted. And then I reached out to a friend of mine. Matter of fact, I was talking to Rashad, and I was like, I got a vision for what I want to do, but I don't know where I want to do it at. I know what I want to feel like. I know what I wanted to look like. And he happened to be talking to somebody who's a friend of ours who had a venue, and they were talking about something else. And he was like, "Hey, man, you need to go check this spot out, And it's called the UR Coliseum in Walkertown." And I went, I looked at it, and I was like, "You absolutely right. It's perfect." That was the pro. Me just saying I want to do something, but I don't know where. The pro was Rashad having a conversation with somebody. We both know, and neither one of us knowing that they had a venue. And it was like, yeah, you can come here. And the pro was a lot of the things we need as far as production, it's already in the building. So there's a lot
Right.
of have to hire out like a bunch of lights and a whole lot of things that people know that you have to have, but that's already in the building. That was the pro. Even me talking to Charles, and God laid on my heart to call Charles, who's done sound and production for some of the most anybody you could think of at a high level in gospel or R&B. Charles has worked with him.
Antonio, look at your email and
Yeah,
hit that link in your email. Go to your email and hit that link.
yes,
But
sir.
go ahead.
So with Charles, that's what he's a man up with. And I've been knowing Charles. Charles been knowing me since I was a little boy. I mean, like before I started playing, Charles knew me. And this, out of all the people he's worked with, all the things he's done, all the things I've done, this is the first time we've worked together in this capacity. Um, Tanya working in it, working in Atlanta, working at the CDC. her administrating and making sure we're safe as far as our COVID protocols and making sure everybody know what we can do, what we can't do. That became a pro just by me saying what I want to do. So I think I think the pro came with me just saying this is what I'm feeling, this is what I want to do, and just watching God put those people in place who just had the heart to say, listen, man, I believe in you and I believe in what you're saying God is telling you. So let's go. You see Charles on here, right?
Yeah, I'm texting you, Charles, right now. I just text me your email, and I'll shoot you that link right quick. Listen, but the reason why I wanted you to talk about that, the reason why I wanted you to discuss it, is because some people don't understand that the vision is, y'all. The Bible is right all day long. Write the vision, make it plain, so that they who read it hear it may run. So this is a part of that pro, that when you have a vision, do not be afraid to uh, um, do not be afraid to dream, because God already has something that he is operating and functioning. He has people behind the scenes for you. You know, Nick, what's up, man? Nick
Yeah.
Hayes, what's up, man? Listen, Nick, you need to hit me up on Facebook, because I wanted to interview you, man. So, uh, so you could come on. So you could come on. I want to talk about your traveling experiences, because you have been around the world, and I'd like to chat with you sometime. Listen, Antonio, I'm resending it right now, my brother. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about that vision. I want to talk about that vision piece, man, and how important it is for you to have that vision, and not be afraid to give God the opportunity to do something magnificent for you. And that's why I wanted you to kind of talk about it, and the vision of your music. How is that? How is that coming on the vision of your music side?
So even with the music, man, it's happening. Hearing what the musicians are doing, like just hearing it, like yeah, that's it. That's what I heard. That's what I'm hearing. I actually created the structure for all the music. But uh, the blessing, like given the vision of like me as a musician or producer to sit down in your studio and program it out is one aspect of it, but it's still like you said, Bishop, where to me that's writing. I wrote the vision in that context, but once I passed it on to the music director, then he's reading it. What do you say? Write the vision, make it plain, so they that read it can run, and
Yeah.
I can feel everybody running. I don't feel I think
Ooh.
one of the mistakes I made in the past was trying to do it all, have opinions about it all, trying to put your hand in all of it. But the truth is to sit back and just say, this is what I sense, this is what I want to see, this is what I believe God is saying, and then sit back and watch everybody work. You know, those that read it or heard it, to actually watch them do the work part of it, man, this it's fulfilling. I say it that way. It's fulfilling. It doesn't feel draining. Like sometimes it can when you try to do everything.
All right, Nick, I'm gonna hold you to it. Stop playing. Hit me up on Facebook. Look at who's on here, sir. Somebody you just played for.
Yeah.
Montana. So, hey, I've been looking at your flyers, Pastor. Wonderful job, you and your lovely wife. Congratulations on what you're doing in ministry. Charles and Antonio, I sent you the link, my brothers. Yeah, but that whole thing of seeing it come to pass is absolutely marvelous. It is absolutely just everything, and so the excitement is, it's happening, y'all. It's happening.
Yep.
October the 8th, 5 o'clock p.m. And I almost knew it. 4421, something like
Yep.
that. They gonna put it up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Much honor to you, sir. We are watching. Listen, we're looking and we're watching, and hopefully you'll get an opportunity to come and share. Or we'll bring our concert to, to you.
So we're and Montana. He's a good guy, man.
You ready, Charles? Yeah, Montana, Pastor Montana seems like he is a great guy.
Yes, sir.
I haven't met you, sat down, but Mischeal tells me lots of stuff about you all, and so I'm excited. Listen, we're gonna bring in another brother who's a part of this production, and he's on the back end production side, and so I pray all things well. And I think he's getting set and situated, and that is none other. He's world traveled. He's been with everybody, and I love the opportunity to have him on. Welcome to the stage, none other than himself, the the ear, the man with the ear, the sound extraordinaire, the man who put it all together and who helps us because he's been everywhere, Mr. Charles Harris. Thank you, sir, for joining us tonight.
What's up, brothers? How y'all doing?
Good.
Really, you gonna come on like that, that cool lady.
Hey,
Heaven,
y'all,
heaven.
listen, y'all ought to be glad that I'm doing the right thing. Say it again. Look, man, I just go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, Mister, you going in and
You
out
going
now?
in and
What's
out.
going on?
You breaking up.
Yeah, you breaking up.
Lord, look. Ooh, I'm good now.
The devil.
You good now. I just want to say, man, I'm proud of you. And it really is an honor to serve beside you in doing this. Like you said earlier, we have this the first time we work like this the very first time that we work together in doing something that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm humbled by it. And they always I used to always say, man, why you won't let me work with you? Why you won't let me work with you? And but timing is everything, and so hey, here we are.
Sure.
But before you eat now before you go with that, what's up, Mike? What's up, Mike Aston?
Hi.
And we hope to see you there too, Mike. It's going to be a wonderful night on October 8th. So Charles has
Yes,
been just absolutely phenomenal for us. Charles was one of the what I call one of the key persons in the background who helped make this. Charles is literally responsible for me singing with Daryl Coley single-handedly. I think because of Charles' recommendation, I'm the only one that never auditioned. Charles
right.
sent him some music of mine, and Daryl Coley just accepted me based on Charles's recommendation. Like I didn't have to go through. I think everybody else had to at least sing for him, and I
Right.
never did. And so is responsible for the sound and of artists. I remember when he was working with Kurt Carr, he worked with John Key. I think he worked with Donald Lawrence. This is when I knew him. And I was like, God almighty, like he knows, like he knows the artist. And I'm sure there is a plethora of other artists and other people that you have actually worked in. And I have the advantage of knowing you got into this through the church.
Absolutely.
But is that where you honed your sound, number one? And number two, how important is a sound person? That everything that we do in this, because everybody wants to be the musician, everybody wants to be the singer, everybody wants to be the drummer. But please tell these people there is a power in controlling the sound.
It is. But can I can answer that question, but I think it's more about what we're trying to convey for the book of Mischeal. You know what I'm saying? You can
It
always call
is.
me back.
No.
And
It is. But this becomes important because I know you would slide that way. But Charles, no.
yes,
It becomes important for the book of Mischeal because everybody who records must understand you can't just use anybody. You talking about what you've accomplished validates the credibility, because we're taking it to another place.
Right.
And you have to have soundness around you in order to get the perfection that you all are trying to get. And that's the only reason why we're trying to make sure to let people know that what we're doing, it's on another level. We're trying to do something, um,
Right.
and that requires your expertise. That is a part of that expertise.
Right.
So it has to be discussed. That's the purpose for it.
Right. The importance of it is, again, my standpoint or my side, or anybody that, well, not just anybody, but people that understand production, uh, we have to hear the heart of the artist.
Mm,
And once the artist give his his or her heart, like in this case, Mitt, he talked to me and shared what his vision was. And when I gave it back to him, he's like, "Did I say that?" I was like, "Yeah, that's what you said." And so, and then from it going from pen to paper, and then from paper to live, is it, like I said, it is the team that makes those things come off the paper. And then when it comes off the paper, now you have an encounter or an experience with the event. And then now from the event, what Mid is doing, and I call him Mid, no disrespect, what Mischeal is doing, now you have content where within in time past, people would do records, live recordings, and then sometimes they did video. But the importance of what my role is, again, is capturing the vision, making the vision come off the page for an experience for the event. And in doing that, you have to hear the heart of the artist. And what I know that God has done for me over these 30 something years in being in the industry is that He's given me favor with the artists. And my position, it is a trust position. You have the artists have to trust that you can take their vision that they're birthing and give it back to them. And so that's what that is.
yeah.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, and I think that is absolutely powerful, just aesthetically, because you've worked with so many artists. What is it that you have learned, not just giving back the vision, but technically, what is it? Because the reason why I say that is because there may be somebody who you never know who you're impacting,
Right,
right? You
right,
never know who's watching,
right.
and then you never know who wants to do sound.
Hmm.
So technically, what do you do? What have you learned dealing with all of these particular artists? Because I know you gave a broad viewpoint of hearing their vision,
Hmm.
but technically, what do you do to get that vision? Like what's important? You know what I'm saying?
So everybody has a different process. So what I teach and what I live by is it's more spiritual than it is technical. And meaning that is, I'm walking. 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold it 1 second. Hold it. Go back some.
But I like what Richard is saying, and so it can be spiritual, but it's also technical. I want these singers to learn how to hold a microphone.
Absolutely.
You, you
Absolutely.
know, Antonio, we sent you the link. I don't know if you can get it or not, man. I sent it to you in your email. I don't know if it's going to spam, but I sent it to you. I'll do it again if you need me to.
Yeah. So like I'll say this much: what he got to do. I gave Charles the vision of what it was I wanted. Bishop, you was talking about writing the vision and making it plain. I gave him the vision of. Actually, he kept asking me questions to pull out of me what it is I wanted to do and what it is I wanted to see. And I vaguely remember that conversation because I think I went to a different place because I'm just talking and going. And so when he came back to me and said, "This is what we gonna do," I was like, "I said all of that." He said, "Yeah, that's what you said to me. You said this. You said you wanted to see this. So these are the things we need to do to be able to give, so I can give you what it is you saw." Uh, so that's what that process was, and I think that process is working through my administrators, and it's also working through the musicians the same way. Like you give them the vision, what you want to hear, what it is you sense on which what it is you've given them, and then watching them just go and do the work.
I believe. I mean, that becomes so important. That Rashard is going out talking about Antonio Covey. You still got AOL email.
I sent a link to Rashard, and
You sent it to Rashard.
and Rashard,
Excellent. So Rashard, if you desire to come in, because listen, the reason why I was saying that there are some technical things. There's definitely some spiritual things that Charles was alluding to, but there are also technical things that people do not understand. So let me give you this, as spiritual as I can be, right? For every choir member, the week before you supposed to do a recording, I'm gonna need you to sit down. I'm gonna need you not to be using your voice.
yeah.
I'm gonna need you technically to study your music. Let the music live in you. So, I mean, so beginning Sunday, or really beginning Saturday, um, let the music live inside of you, and technically guard your voice. Be careful while you're going to the Friday night football games.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that these are technical issues. Understanding that when you have the mic, it is going to eternity. What Mischeal and I talked about, that you're creating history when you do that. And so it's that whole piece. It is more than just the spiritual piece. There is a technical piece that you must be able to garner. If you're going to lead sing, understand the holding of the microphone, understand movement, because this is actually going into tape. And like, it's different than when you running up and down the road, and when you're in your church and you moving and jumping and carrying on. This is a live recording. And so, like I told Mischeal, I'm on shutdown mode, because not only do I want to study my music, I also want to make sure that technically I'm taking care of my vessel. I'm drinking water. I'm thinking about what I need to do. I'm working on my technique, because there is a technique to all of that. And so I'm excited. Man, we got the whole crew.
Get
We
us
got
all
the
in.
ambassador crew.
Get
Lord,
us all in.
Now.
oh, it's on now.
Richard.
Rashard, what you on mute? Unmute yourself. How you doing?
I'm good, fellas. What's going on?
Was good.
What's up, boy?
Wait, I got another one. There he
Oh,
is.
Antonio.
What's up, Joe?
What's up, fam?
I had to get
Lord, we
my
got,
AOL right, Rashard.
But yeah, and I'll go back to the thing we was talking about, even technically, you know, for production wise, the technical aspect of it to me is just it's a big piece of it. You got to know it, but it's it it's more spiritual than it is technical. And like when I do production, even before the artist, the band get on stage, I'm making sure that the microphones are clean, that they lined up right, that there's no cables on the floor, that nobody's going to trip. Um, and what I do, I call it preparing the stage for God. And in doing that, I give it back to Him. And then once I can feel His presence, then I know it's okay for everybody else to come on the stage. And and this is a shameless plug. Forgive me. I'm trying to finish my book by the end of the year, and the title of the book that is called "There's a Certain Sound, but Knowing It's All Spiritual." And what it does and what it is connecting is the spiritual aspect of everything that we hear and everything that we see when it comes to the things in church. And as we know, y'all know, because when you go to these shows, it's about what people see. You know what I'm saying? It's it people that's doing church regular, like usual. That's why ain't nobody going back to church. And but that's a whole nother subject. But if if the production of it is what it is, every Sunday is production, and that's what I tell people. It ain't. It's just different. The times are different, and if I can hold your attention by visual, then I got you. If I can hold your attention by the look or the sound of the choir, and then if it's a good word, because as we know, deliverance and healing can come even before the preacher get up.
Yep.
all
And
the time.
so, yeah, and so it's that kind of preparation.
I
And so,
love it. I'm gonna go in that order because I saw you shaking your head, Richard, and I know Richard is traveling, and we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. But I wanted to give you space because I know you do this. You and Charles, and you, Charles, and Antonio have been doing this on a completely different level. Mischeal and I have been localized, if you will, but I mean we've been doing great things, but you all have had the opportunity to travel to see more. And so, Richard, give us your expertise, some of the things that you want us to know about coming up for this production as you see it as an major artist and producer.
Well, as I see it, I'm just like Charles. I want people to walk away with a visual experience. Audibly, you can hear it all day, but when you can always go back to a visual thing, that's one thing that's gonna stick in your mind. You'd be like, man, them lights was good at Goldsmith show, or the outfits looked amazing. Everything is a visual appeal to the eye. So if, like Charles said, if I can't capture you visually, it's really gonna be hard for anybody to want to listen to you audibly.
Mm, that's
That's my
good.
two.
I like that. I like that. So, what we have is, and this is Winston-Salem at its best. What we have is Antonio is going to be a part. He has consented to be a part of the choir, and he's up in the D.C. area,
Mhm.
the DMV. But and he has been recording. He definitely I've sung with him, sang with him, and he is a phenomenal vocalist. But one of the things that has happened to him lately is he's not. I know he does a lot of recording because I see him on a lot of stuff uh, on flyers and stuff. I'm shocked we could get him because I figured he was too big for us right about now. But but he is traveling now with Maverick City. He's doing the tour with Maverick City. So he is getting to see a whole different level of professionalism as a singer. So Charles does sound and production. Richard does music, drums specifically. He's excellent. He is just excellent at that. But he does the production on that too. Because I see him. He's behind the scenes doing that. And now we have Antonio who's doing it vocally. So, first of all, welcome to Behind the Veil, sir,
So,
and to the three of you. But tell us your experience, and we are so excited you're going to be a part of the Book of Mischeal.
uh, I don't even know where to start, but I will say this from the vocal standpoint, because I know my lane. I don't do sound. I don't play drums anymore. I sing. That's what I do. Um, but I will say this, and it doesn't really matter what level you're doing it on. But in this particular context, and we're talking about s- spiritual, sacred music in the Christian context. I always tell people you can't really take anybody where you have not been. So
That's good.
the spirit of the song or what needs to be conveyed in the song, as we always was say when we learn music, you have to live with this music, live with it, become it. Search the scripture to find out what God says about what the context of the lyrics are, because again, the Bible says what we say is spirit and it's life. So you want to be able to make sure that you are
spiritually connected, as Charles was mentioning, in what it is that you're singing. One, so be knowledgeable of what it is that you're singing. Don't just sing anything because that's what the artist wants you to sing. Because some of this stuff out here is trash. But that's my opinion. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But vocally, from a vocal standpoint, and I think you were mentioning it, Bishop. You don't, as we call it, tech week. Tech week is to make sure you, at this point, you've already nailed down lyrics, so you shouldn't be on paper or your phones anymore. You're probably nailing down last minute little nuances and texture and tone, approach, delivery, vocal placements. You might do a little bit of that during Tech Week, but Tech Week is not the week to learn music. And
Right.
and lastly, you definitely do not want to overexert. And what I mean by that is talking unnecessarily, loud laughing, this whole myth about lemons and certain cough drops. Stay away from all of that because it's unnecessary. It does not serve the voice any justice at all. The key to really being successful in terms of a recording is honestly rest, water, not a whole bunch of talking, not a whole bunch of laughing. And like now we're in fall, so this is pneumonia weather. So making sure you keep yourself covered up, making sure you keep yourself hydrated. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do, but I'm definitely grateful for the opportunity to um, serve with Mitch. This is part of my foundation. I'll never forget it. Uh, it was a no brainer for me to make sure that I was available to come back and serve and undergird and push this thing with Mitch. I'm definitely proud of him.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
We excited. So Charles, I want to come back to you because somebody talking about ginger tea and honey. Because Charles has arguably been a part of what. Okay, so Donald Lawrence. We're talking about the Donald Lawrence singers, right? Kurt Carr. We're talking about the Kurt Carr singers, right? I mean, that's the cream de la cream. That is in our business. Those are the ones that has been the example. And so from a sound person, after having worked with them all through the years, are there pointers or things that you would like for us to know as singers that we should be in preparation for this recording? Because you've recorded so many, you and Richard, y'all have recorded so many people. And the reason why I say that, you guys have had the opportunity through Ambassador to have choirs record, but it is not everybody's place. Everybody has not had the opportunity to do that. And so your knowledge in this particular format would be invaluable because you've worked with, and Richard has worked with the Hamiltons. I mean, just background, when you start talking about background singing recording at its best, you all have been exposed to that. And that's the kind of stuff that we need, that, you know, Mischeal is doing everything he can, but you do know there is another level that we have to have in order to get the singers to where he wants it to be, because he's trying to stay in his lane too. So whatever you guys could offer that we should be doing or thinking about, technique, whatever it is that you've learned, because y'all have been so impactful, and you've seen so much, and your knowledge is so vast.
Yeah, I mean, my technique is always important. You know, I I think it's funny. It'd be a lot of praise and worship conferences, and but they don't have any classes about sound,
Right.
and they'll complain about sound, but they won't pay for it to be the right sound. And so I think it's all. Of course, the bottom line is the budget, but the very thing that you need is what we bring to the table is the amplification of the message in which you're trying to say.
Right. Now,
And
I'm sorry. When you say mic technique, what do you mean?
so there's a lot of different mic techniques. Like let's take Donald Lawrence and Tri City Singers. Uh, in miking, so let's go through the stages. So when Donald had the choir when it first came out, we did the recording because of the texture and the tonality of what he had the choir doing. I knew I wanted to put them on 58s, Shure 58s,
Hmm.
because at that point, as an engineer, I knew that I can get the gain before feedback. I can turn the microphone up and the voices will be in your face and it won't be
Mm.
like your church choir, because it really wasn't that. It was parts and harmonies and tricks and thrills, when it came to Tri-City Singers.
Mm.
And so what I did, I put 1258s, probably, yeah, about 12, 15 58s within the choir. And in the choir, when they were standing up and singing, if you go back and you look at When Sunday Comes, you'll see the 58s. And then also when it comes to like lead singers, um, you'll see the different microphones. Like let's take Daryl Coley. Because Daryl Coley was an amazing singer, I would put a Beta 87. That's a microphone, that's a condenser mic, because it made those kind of vocals rich and warm. And I can tell you this story. Uh, so and as y'all know, I used to do sound for Kirk Franklin. So
Yes, I forgot about that too.
Sure had Kirk Franklin on the front of their magazine, and they had a Beta 87. That's a condenser microphone. So I called a meeting in with Shure and asked them uh, in their marketing department, how did this happen? They say, how did what happen? I say, how did y'all give Kirk Franklin this microphone? And they said, it's the right microphone for Kirk. I said, well, what kind of singer is Kirk? They said, oh, he the number one gospel artist in the world. He this, he that. I said, well, you're right. I say, but what kind of artist is Kirk Franklin? They couldn't tell me. I say, Kirk Franklin is a MC. He's not a singer.
Right.
Right.
So it
Right.
was the wrong microphone. They was trying to advertise it to the black church or to anybody that would buy it because Kirk Franklin had it in his hand. And so I was the first engineer that got a Shure endorsement deal got an endorsement deal from Shure. And I told them it is the engineers that really dictate what microphone go on what instrument. What
Wow.
go, yeah. It's not the artist, it's the engineer. And because we know voices, we know the tones, and we know what we're trying to do in our mix. Because when we mix, all the people want to do is hear the record. And so, in being a part of the recording, I know what mics I use, so I can duplicate the same sound, the same tones when it comes to the live performance. And so, it's all those little details.
Wow. Is
Mm.
that the same Rick that musically that
I mean, everything he said was on point, but I'm gonna stick with the vocals right quick. One thing that I wish vocals would do would be to protect their hearing. Once your hearing is gone, it ain't
That's
coming
it.
back.
Yes, sir.
So there's a thing called ear irrigation that most
Yep.
people don't even know about getting their ears clean. Now,
Yep.
there's a level of wax that is needed to protect your ears, but I'm sure there's people who be like, I can't hear, and they keep wanting it louder and louder and louder. And the thing is, they just need to go get their ears clean. And I
wow.
guarantee if they ever have an ear irrigation, a conversation, you'll be like, bring that down, sir. It's too
Mm-hmm.
loud.
That's amazing.
That helps. Secondly, in-ear monitors. I prefer to have a quiet stage. I know it can't happen in a choir situation, but any kind of groups or bands, I don't want no monitors on stage because when the stage is too loud, front of house is fighting with the stage. Give you an example. Yesterday, I was doing a show, and the stage was so loud, I just turned the house off. because there's no point. It's no point. The whole stage carried the house.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, but in the black church, we just feel like if it ain't loud, it ain't right.
Right.
We want to feel
That's
it.
true.
Want to feel it. That's what it is.
You can feel it, but when your hearing gone, you ain't gonna hear nothing or feel it.
Right.
Wow. See, those are excellent
Mm.
techniques. And so, Antonio, in your experience, listen, this look, y'all, we need to charge y'all $50. This is a whole master class right here, sitting up
This
here.
this is a
But
master class. It
this
is
is
a
a
master
master
class.
class. You hear
And
me?
Micheal is getting all of it from his team,
Yeah.
Yes.
and it is it's what it's supposed to be for this time.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so, thank you, Charles. So that's the whole. You see the expertise here. This is what's happening October the 8th at 5 o'clock. The Book of Micheal live recording. And it is a culmination because Micheal has worked with all of us, and all of us have worked with Micheal over the years. And this is that thing. This is that time and that moment where all of us are bringing our expertise to the plate to help push this one artist who has done so much. And so it's for all of us and for some of you. So what we need you to do is go to the Eventbrite and buy them tickets.
Jeez.
Um, please buy your tickets. And so it's the Book of Micheal. It's music coming from himself. Um, and I was supposed to tell them, hey, I tell you what, y'all join me tomorrow. I bought 4 tickets. I already bought 4 tickets, and I'm gonna give tickets away on my show tomorrow behind the veil, and I'll give them. I may give 2 tomorrow, and I'll give 2 next week. So listen tomorrow, and you'll be able to get the tickets. I'm paying for it because I believe in the book. I'm in the choir, but I believe in the Book of Micheal just that much that we got to fill this place up, and it's going down October 8th at 5 p.m. 4 p.m. for the VIPs. VIPs is $30. Um, and the regular general admission is going to be $20. If you can't come, please go out and buy 5 tickets. Buy 4 or 5 tickets and support this endeavor. And you are looking at all of the expertise. This bespeaks uh, what Micheal, who he is to us, because we're willing to bring all of our expertise to do this. And Richard has been a tremendous MD. Richard has been MDing for a long time. Charles has been doing sound. I should get a free sheet because I'm your yeah, you're right, Cynthia. You're right. I got you. And Antonio is just absolutely, he has grown to be one of the best singers. Now, Antonio, you have had a phenomenal, successful career in the DMV with a
Hmm.
lot of with doing a lot of background singing and a lot of lead singing.
Hmm.
Um, Tell us things that you've learned, because I see a lot of artists who don't move. Is it important to hold your posture while you singing into them 58s that Charles was talking about? Because I see when it comes to record time
Hmm.
while we're watching them, the background is not moving. I don't know how we're going to do with the choir because there's so many of us,
Hmm.
and I don't know how Charles is going to mic us. But give us some technique that you've learned, and now that you're on the road with Maverick City, some of the things that you've learned in your recording, because your recording discography, bro, is huge, huge.
This will make 32. This will make 32. I've been hitting for a long time. Once I've kind of counted up everything,
Wow.
home and hit this will make my 32nd recording opportunity. So I'm definitely grateful.
Wow.
Um, one thing I will say about posture, and actually I kind of learned this just even in church. I don't move a whole lot when it's time for recording or background vocals, because the focus, it is not that I'm not engaged in what's going on, but the focus especially if you're on a mic, is try to be as precise as possible. And a lot of times, a whole bunch of movement, you kind of lose your precision. So usually, what's going on in my mind, I'm trying to figure out what's next, what the vocal approach is supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do in that particular moment. So for me, you're not gonna get a whole bunch of arm flapping and jumping jacks. You're not gonna do all. I'm too big for all that. Anyway, I'm,
Look at y'all.
I'm not doing it. I'm just not gonna do that. And it shows up when it's when they go back into that playback because microphones don't lie. So I typically kind of remain in a professional posture, and that doesn't really matter what kind of music it is. When it's time to be locked and loaded, it's time to be locked and loaded. But I do want to say yes, since coming to the DMV, especially as a background singer, my career has taken off. Um, I don't know how it happened or when it happened. I just got connected with the right people, and the calls come, the emails come, and I don't say no. I just keep doing it. But I do want to go back to what Rashard said, because Rashard said something that was very, 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 very important to the life and the longevity of someone who sings, preaches, talks, or whatever. Invest in a really good, reputable ENT, an ear, nose, and throat doctor. They will save you the embarrassment of latter years when your voice sound like you've been smoking a pack of cigarettes. They're the ones that's gonna help you out. I travel with my in ears. I travel with them every day because you never know. You might get a phone call. You just might need to be available. But I keep mine on me. But an ENT, as a singer, as a preacher, as someone who orates, that is the person that you need to make sure you is your best friend. The ear irrigation that he talked about, I get one every 6 months just to stay on top of it. And I keep my ears clean. Because I go every 6 months to get a scope. A scope is when they take the camera, put it up through your nose. They go down to your vocal cords and make sure your cords look good. Um, so I mean, if you talk, if you sing, you need to have an ENT in your back pocket. They are going to make sure that you maintain a level of longevity. They're going to make sure that they also, because my ENT, Dr. Damiano, he recommended me 2 years ago to like a voice therapist because I had noticed I had a lot of acid reflux. So I had to get back in pretty good vocal shape. So you need that kind of professional in your back pocket if you want to maintain your longevity.
Well, I,
ENT, inner inner ear monitors. You need them. You need them. It's imperative.
e, I'm going to go get me an ENT. I don't have one. I had one years ago. I'm gonna go get me one because I
Get,
do too much.
get you one.
And Charles, I need the recommendation for the best in ear system. Wait a minute. Now hear me. That I can buy, not what you can buy. Or you and Richard just get together and bring it with you so I can have my own personal in ear kit.
I mean, you can
Y'all,
get cheap ones. You can get some really good quality cheap ones. I mean, you probably see the molds. People get their ear molds and all of that. My money ain't that long yet, but I mean, you can still get a good quality pair of kind of cheaper ones. I don't mean like them little earbuds. No, not them. Get
you
some
ain't
that
gonna have Richard and Charles laughing at me. The devil is a liar.
listen. He,
Go ahead, Charles. You gonna say something? You muted. Unmute yourself because you look like you saying something.
This is what I'll do for you. I'll bring you a pair of in ears,
All right.
and from Shure,
Oh,
it's got 6 drivers in it,
oh, good.
and you'll be on your way.
I'm
And
Mm-hmm.
gonna
so
do it.
so next thing you need to do is go to the doctor. They'll take and mold your
Mm-hmm.
ear. They'll make molds for you, and you can have the good bishop on it.
I'm gonna put the good bishop on it.
But no. But let me say this, y'all. And we was talking about microphones. Um, it's a shameless plug. So I'm doing this masterclass 101, and I'm teaching how to clean the microphone. And what happens is a lot of times, like worship leaders and pastors, Mike, when you take the mic off the head and you take and you pull the cushion out, you can see everything that was in their throat is on
That is
top of.
true.
And what happens is it takes and clogs up the breath of the microphone, and so it makes the microphone muffled,
Hmm.
and that's a part of it too. We're talking about the artist can't hear, and a lot of times it's not so much that they can't hear, it is because it's a bad microphone or the heads have not been clean, and so you get those things. Yep. And so that's what that is. Hold 1 second, gents.
Man, this is a complete miss. Listen, it's going down October. The boy, look at this. It's going down October 32, Antonio.
Yeah, 32. This will make
Antonio, that's more than me. And
really.
Antonio, yeah, I'm probably maybe 20,
Oh,
20, 20, 25. You done jump ship.
I feel like I live in the studio, but again, I love it. I love what I do, man.
Wow.
Love
And
what I,
and what are you learning while you're on the road? And I'll get back to Charles and Michial. Now we just want to be nosy. Is there something that you're learning while you're on the road? Because you are with right now. Charles was a part of one of the best tours, and you now are part of one of the best gospel tours, at least.
mm,
And I know Richard does all kinds of music,
mm.
and I think Charles does too. I'm not sure. We
I
have
do.
to pull them in.
I 360 degrees of music. I'm not
Excellent.
locked into just doing gospel music.
Got you. Yes, sir. But so they call you all the time for background work and because you
Yeah,
can't
so,
sing.
yeah, when I moved up here, I got plugged into this amazing lady. Her name is Dr. Joyce Garrett. And she put me on my first big opportunity up here, and that was Kennedy Center Honors.
Mm,
Uh, Kennedy Center Honors, and that particular year we did the tribute to Paul McCartney, and I was floored. I was floored to even be asked to, do any BGV work on that level. And then from there, I got, connected with Patrick Lundy. So, we were doing Capitol Fourth at the U.S. Capitol, and you sing with anybody. Vanessa Williams, Cynthia Ravo, Patti LaBelle, like you sing it with all of them.
right.
And actually from there, I got invited to have a membership with SAG-AFTRA, which is a whole nother professional membership kind of situation. And they also kind of make sure you work as well.
Got you.
So a lot of doors have opened. Of course, in the gospel context, which I love. I mean, that's my heart. But I will definitely take the other context, because the other context, I appreciate what comes with the other context.
Wait a minute. And it comes with it.
It
Somebody say
comes
amen
at the door.
at the door. Don't even have to worry about
Don't
it.
have to worry about it. Mhm.
I was trying. I'm waiting for Rick to. Man, that is so apt. That is absolutely wonderful, you all. And so these are all the gifts that are coming for the Book of Mischeal. These are all the gifts that's coming for. uh we got questions. So these are some of the people that are coming, and they're going to be here on October the 8th for the Book of Mischeal at 5 o'clock. Is when the concert is going to come out. You got to go to Eventbrite. You can go to Mischeal's page and hit the link. That's what I did today. I hit the link off of his page, his personal page. I clicked the link on Eventbrite, and we bought my tickets. And you need to do that. Go out there and get your tickets. VIPs are $30, and general admission is going to be $20, which is really, really low, 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 low for a live video recording where we're going to have cameras and lights and actions, and we doing a video recording. So you getting a great deal. And It's just going to be absolutely marvelous. And you see the expertise that is a part. Now you see why I wanted to do it, Charles. The expertise that is bringing, that we're bringing to this one event. And this is not just a recording. This is an event. It's going to transcend what's happening. There are like 10 songs. And I promise you, Mischeal and I were talking today, and look, we're going to have a problem, Antonio, in the first half, and we're going to have a problem in the second half. It's just good music.
Yeah.
And Charles, Michigan gonna have to pull a David Allen. He gonna be like, all right, y'all, sit down now. Shut that off, because we got to get this, we got to get this in. He ain't even he let me just introduce it, and then he told me I got to shut up because it's his book. He told me I got to shut up because he'll turn the pages, and then he'll call me when he gets tired of turning his own pages.
That's fair. That's that ballsy thing that y'all was talking about last week.
Listen, it's in this room. It's in here. I mean, I'm gonna come to your question, but I want to talk to Rick to talk about the musicians aspect of it, because you've been on that side. What for our musicians, and what musicians should know. And the reason why I'm taking this time is that Mischeal is a broad dude. Even though this is about him, his vision is to, and his desire, his heart is to still help other people. And so this is the mechanism where, we're giving out information that you should do. We talked about his vision initially. Write that thing, and the pro will start coming. And so I wanted to talk to Rick, just on the music side, because we got sound, we've got writing, we've got background singers, and we might as well just tackle the musicians while we here, because we ain't got but one more week. Lord have mercy.
Yep.
We got one more week.
Rashawn's
Go ahead,
still on?
Mischeal. Huh?
I think Rashawn's on, right?
He right here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all. I got distracted. My computer is doing something really crazy right now that I don't need to do, and it is really acting crazy. It just came back up. Okay. Wow. Expectation from musicians. What I conversation I had with them, I said, allow yourself to come through this music.
That's good.
Don't sound like somebody else. And I talked to the two guys that are kind of doing this. I said, at the end of the day, when I kind of probed them a little bit, I said, now, we set the bar. Y'all can't come below the bar.
No.
In no way, shape, or form. You got to meet us where we left off at, and then you got to surpass us. I believe with the guys that are playing, they can do that. But I just want their personality to show through the music. I don't want them to be so stuck into, I can only play in this right here. Not be all over the place, but within context of the music. Make sense?
Yes.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, but because Richard is renowned for doing his production piece musically, and I look at his Facebook sometimes, or IG, while he's setting up things. He don't know we be watching, but we be looking at you, brother, when you're setting up stuff. And I don't see Charles as much, but I guess big time, we can't do that.
Charles did that 30 years ago.
30 years ago, bro. He be like, nah.
Well, let me tell you why I don't do it. So,
Bad
need. Because you get paid to talk about it. That's why.
I say that. I got it too.
Yeah. The reason why I don't do it, and I don't, and just this is just a Charlesism, meaning that I don't care for haters. And and you got people that are with you, and you got people that want to see what you're doing. But I think for me, I like being present in the moment of what I'm doing. You know, like we got a group chat. The guys got a group chat, and we'll post some stuff. But it ain't me. I just don't like to post. I'd rather post teaching versus me going and doing a gig because it's tiring for me. And I'll say it this way. I mean, now that we out here in the World Wide Web. So this past weekend, I was in Augusta, Georgia, did a Aretha Franklin tribute. Came from that, did Eric Benet, and I did something else I did on Sunday. So it's it's a lot. When people start seeing you, I call it being in your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody don't supposed to travel with you in your purpose.
That's good.
And so that's why I don't do it. That's why if you go to my cigar lounge page, now I'm in trouble. You'll see all the cigars that I'm posting, but that ain't what this is about.
Right.
I'm
And
sorry, Mischeal. I'm sorry, but
no, you are crazy. I love it. Love it. Antonio, you got a question. What is your advice for singers that sing far and few between? Asking for myself because it's been a while and I'm not a professional singer, but I have had some training, just slacked off because you didn't want to do right. Charmaine, you just didn't want to do right. And now we got to bring Antonio, the 32 recording artist,
No, sir.
down here just so you can do right. Come on. No.
wait a minute before you answer that, Antonio. Let me ask you: have you ever got paid for singing?
Charmaine, the question is, have you ever gotten paid for singing? I can probably answer that. No.
Well, then she's not a professional. A professional is somebody that get paid to do what they do. Go, Antonio.
That's it. In a
Now, that
nutshell.
is true.
That's it.
That is true. Antonio.
Okay, all right. I know this is gonna sound really cliche, but I have to be honest. I didn't start off here. I started off going to choir rehearsal every Wednesday at 6:30 at church, regardless if I was singing or not. Your vocal area, vocal cords, it's a muscle, and you have to exercise it. You don't exercise it, it's going to lose strength. It's going to lose pliability. It's going to really lose its effectiveness until you get back in the habit of using it. So I see where she said she slacked off, and the slack off is where you're going to get in trouble. You have to constantly do it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Find yourself in a place with somebody who can challenge you. Find yourself in a place where somebody is not going to allow you to be mediocre. And of course,
A lazy singer.
Yeah.
A lazy singer.
right. You don't want to be that. I mean, of course, you work within the scope of your ability. So don't come out the gut trying to be, somebody that's already out here. Work your grace, whatever ability God has given you, but you want to make sure you're in a space where you are being challenged, you're being taught, you're being corrected. Um, you just by all means, just don't stop singing. Don't
Right.
don't stop singing. Period. Whatever you do, don't stop singing, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, she already ready for Misha to keep on doing something else. And so goes
Yeah,
with
she pretty much told me, okay, I came out of retirement. We got October the 8th. What's after that?
Wow.
yeah.
She
Excellent.
she putting it on you.
Yeah. What's next?
Wait a minute. And so am I, Charles. Like, all right. All right. Let's get let's get 23. Let's get 23 moving.
Yeah.
This is such a powerful night. I mean, so for everybody, this is the expertise. Charles has been in the game 30 years, 20, 30 years. Richard has been in the game 20, 30 years. Uh, Antonio has been doing this And each one of everybody that you see here has been paid to give their gift. Everybody you see on this has been paid to give their gift. And we are bringing our expertise to this one event. This thing looks powerful to me. Come October the 8th, man, at 5 o'clock. Um, please get your tickets. Go to Eventbrite and get your tickets. VIPs are $30. General admission is $20. And you want to do that, all roads are going to Walkertown. Mischeal, I ain't even see nobody here who put up the address this time, but all roads are going to Walkertown. And you can see we got the sound in, and I don't want to say this. Charles is the production. Give their titles, Mischeal, for what they're doing.
So Charles is a production manager for the event. Antonio, he's singing background, but he gonna do a little more than that. But we'll discuss that in a minute. And now Rashad talked to me initially. Rashad's really functioning as MD, but he's given that responsibility to a couple of younger guys, man, and kind of mentoring them through that process. And they're doing an amazing job. So that's who we got on the call tonight, on the video tonight.
So can I say this? Let's go back to the whole thing about being paid. Everybody that's on here, we paid our dues.
Talk, sir. Wait, say that again. Talk in the mic. Wait.
That part.
Talk in the mic.
We paid our dues. And
you talking in the 58, right?
I'm talking in
the
58. And in paying your dues, you learn so much foundation.
Yep.
We don't like it because when we there, and me, Mr. Shaw, we be there all week, 2 weeks before Symphony Garden is on, and we thank God for you, Ambassador Cathedral. We thanks for the foundation. But we be at rehearsal and be there, and be there 2 weeks getting everything done. Then the week of, somebody else come in and play.
Wow.
Hard lessons.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Hard lessons. Hard lessons.
Yes, sir.
We can do our own sitcom. That's what we keep talking about. But in doing, God grace you. When God anoints you to do what you do, when it's your purpose, you can never outbeat God in giving.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So when those opportunities come, when my telephone ring, I always say it's God calling me. I don't have to haggle about my price.
Mm-hmm.
It's all God. And so when you get to a place in the level of what we do and how we do, and it afford us the lifestyle, it's because we paid our dues.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you ain't just coming out the box and somebody gonna pay you and you.
That is true.
It don't. Yeah,
That's a
you
powerful
got.
point.
Yeah,
Charles.
you got to pay your dues.
Yep.
And yeah, we keep hearing ha, but we don't pay you some dues.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Years worth.
Yeah. And most of that is in the local church. I mean, most of that
Absolutely.
is not on the road, and most of that is not getting paid.
Right.
Most of that
Absolutely.
is giving your gift
Right.
and you giving it for the service of the Lord.
Absolutely.
Wait a
Right.
minute.
Yeah.
Singing real hard, singing long, and doing
Yeah.
that, coming back, being on time, and being fussed at for
Yep.
not being good, and
All
you
that.
know, and all that.
But
So,
even in that, that's when you realize that the word really becomes live. It said that your good
yes,
steps are ordered
Mm-hmm.
by God. You don't know it in that time, but I tell people that church was my boot camp.
Mind.
Mhm.
It's all our boot camp.
Yep.
And when you don't know it because you kids, you just got a love for it. You know what I'm saying? It's that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody that's here and people that we know, they got that thing. It's that thing, and you call it the anointing. You call it whatever you want to call it. But anytime God allow your gifts and your talents to stand before Him, and give it to people and they pay you for it, what?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful thing.
Right. Listen, it's going down. Wait a minute. Let me say this. Nick Hayes wanted to thank Richard and others because Richard was really an example for drummers around here, and they've been hard. But Nick is traveling the world now as a result of that hard work. And I see your pictures, Nick, and I see what you're
Yeah.
doing. You continue to do what you're doing because you prompted me to ask this next question, and we'll go into it. But meet us on October 8th. At UR Coliseum. Thank you, Rosetta. At 4421 Poindexter Road in Walkertown, North Carolina. It's going down October 8th at 5 o'clock. VIP doors open at 4 o'clock. General admission at 4:30. Tickets for the VIP are $30 and general admission is $20. If you can't be there, please go out to the Eventbrite and buy and support Mischeal because it costs money to get this done. And a lot of us are bringing our giftedness, and we are not charging him what we would normally charge people to do stuff like this, because his budget would be blown by now. His budget would be out the gate. But I wanted to talk to the three of the Richard and Charles and Antonio just briefly. Now, this it ain't nothing to do with this, but out of all the places that you've gone, and what's one of the most memorable places that you visited while you've been traveling? Can you think of one that you would say, "Wow, that was an experience"? Does one just pop off in your travels? Rick,
I'll oh, you want Rick
Charles,
first?
go ahead, Charles.
So I'm the production manager for Lagos, Nigeria, and it is the largest gospel concert it is in the world. It's 800,000 people, and this one experience, it never rains in Africa. It rained like cats and dogs.
Wow,
It rained so that we left everything out on stage. Didn't have no tarps. They don't have tarps. It rained so that I got to make it short. It was so much water in the keyboards. When you turn the keyboards upside down, or the water would run out of it.
Oh,
So much water's in the speakers, the monitors. You turn them upside down, turn water just run out of it.
wow.
And because of schooling, I knew about electricity and components. And so I just plugged up one instrument at a time and let the circuit run and let it start warming up the circuits in the keyboards and in the speakers. And what it taught me was, so let me tell you everybody that was on the stage first. It was Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, Ty Tribbett, Mary Mary,
mm,
Israel and New Breed, Donnie McClurkin, CC Winan, um, and a whole bunch of Nigerian artists and Jamaican artists. And everybody would get a sound check. And so this concert is from 5 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 o'clock in the morning to dusk to dawn. And because Fred Hammond had the biggest band, I sound checked him, and everybody else, they was upset because they wanted to do a sound check. But because of the experience and the rain, it just changed everything. And so the experience for me in 2019, it all these artists, it poured down raining during the concert, and all electricity went out. Everything went out. And all these voices, they sung to one God with one voice. So all those artists that was there, I think Fred got to perform, or Mary got to perform. And after that, nobody else got to perform. And these people sung, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
Wow.
So that experience will always stay with me for the rest of my life.
wow,
Yeah.
that's a good one, Rick. Because you're well traveled too. Oh, he said, hold up.
So I would have to say Africa. Um, it's just a whole other experience over there. What we take for granted in music, they don't. Like they come out and they know all the words to all the songs.
Wow.
Yeah. So that would have to be my one most memorable trip, was to Nairobi, Kenya. Pretty awesome over there. And a lot of people have a misconception to think that Africa is flies and giraffes everywhere. I mean, that's a part of it, but that ain't all of it.
Right.
Some parts of like South Africa look just like you in Miami.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Westernized. So I implore y'all too, if y'all got passports, we need to get out the country. We got to go see something.
I'm down.
You got to go see something. Winston-Salem is Winston-Salem, but
Yeah.
it's so much more outside of Winston-Salem, man.
Yeah.
I do not regret leaving.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
All right,
Antonio, have you had an experience that you've been able?
Actually, yeah. I agree with Rashad. Going across the water. And for me, I've never been to Africa yet. But I was in London in 2018. And it was one of the experiences of my life. Rashard hit it on the head. Normally, because we're so familiar when it comes to music, regardless of the genre, other areas they treat it so differently. They embrace music in a more deeply passionate way. And over there, I mean, and you got people of all colors, nationalities, creeds, singing and just going berserk, like nobody's sitting down, nobody's on their phone, nobody's waiting for the next big thing to happen. Like everybody engaged with everybody. But it was just the biggest experience of my musical career going across the water.
I love it. I love it. Now he just mentioned something, Charles and Mischeal, that just triggered something in me. What about phones for that night?
Phones is people's livelihood. So it's going to be hard for you to tell people to put their phones down and put away and be present in the moment. But guess what? I mean, all news is good news or bad news is news. But hey, let them get it and let it hashtag the Book of Mischeal and let's blow up the internet. As long as they hashtag him, the Book of Mischeal, it's another way to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? And I said this to Mitt. I say, Mitt, are you gonna let them record a half a song, or are you gonna go live that night before we get started? But of course, somebody gonna try to sneak and use their phone, but we don't want them to. And of course, you have to make the announcements. Put your phone away, because we don't want you to expose us. We still, that kind of things. But it's got to be announced. But I can assure you, what they say, $100,000, somebody gonna record it and they gonna post it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no phone should happen that night. They shouldn't be able to put it out before we put it out.
Right.
Listen, it is.
now, I know they're gonna do it. We know they're gonna do it. If they're gonna do it though, let's get a hashtag behind it. Every time they post something.
Yeah.
Before the joint, you tell them, pull your phones out right now.
Right.
Hashtag the Book of Mischeal. That way, everything they post. All right.
Will be that. Listen, this has been so tremendous tonight. This has turned out to be a brotherhood connection, but it's also a master class. Thank you all for being a part of Behind the Veil. And Mischeal, man, thank you so much for allowing all of us to be a part of this next journey that you are on. And hopefully we can go to Africa and from this Book of Mischeal, and we can sing, and we'll call Antonio. We'll have to fly him there, and we have to get
everybody got to fly.
everybody.
I don't know. You ain't gonna get in no canoe.
And wait, Charles, go like this.
Definitely ain't one.
Yeah, we stopped doing them boats, bro, about 400 years ago. We
About
stopped doing
500 years ago.
Listen. Like, wait a minute.
that.
Everybody, it's going down. The Book of Mischeal, the live concert and live recording, Saturday, October 8th, 2022 at 5 p.m. at the UR Coliseum, 4421 Poindexter Road. You got to get your tickets, please. Now, they done bumped them up. Tickets will increase at the door. At the door, the general
Amen.
admission will be $25. VIP will be $30. Right now, you can go to Eventbrite. Y'all own it. Y'all can go to Eventbrite right now and purchase your tickets to this incredible event and this vast knowledge that you have. And I just wanted, I'm glad Mischeal was able to get them on tonight, because this is expertise. This is experience. This is trial. This has been tried and true. This is been in the valley, but had some victories. These cats are knowledgeable about what they're doing. They're experienced in the areas, and we want to thank everybody, for Charles Harris for being with us, for Richard Jenkins, and for Antonio Covington. These guys are absolutely the best at what they do in the lane that they do it in, and all of them are part of the Book of Mischeal that's happening October the 8th.
Absolutely.
Oh man, it is going to be on October the 8th, 2022, 5 p.m. UR Coliseum, 4421 Poindexter Road. Get your tickets. Go to Eventbrite. If you can't be there, go to Eventbrite and support. Buy 2 or 3 tickets and sow it into somebody's life. It's going to be it's going to be a time of transformation. I believe this is going to catapult Mischeal to a whole nother ball game. And again, we have this kind of expertise. So you got the wind behind him, y'all. These cats right here got some stuff behind them, and they are pushing him and undergirding his vision. And so we are excited. It's going to be on and popping. We bringing everything we can to that week. This has certainly been a master class, man. I'm gonna leave this one up at Mischeal. I'm gonna send this one out. We need to take this link and just post it on all of our pages, because this was some great information tonight that they gave us about music. And look, y'all, we could do this, and God knows we can have a whole masterclass, and it'll be a whole afternoon with expertise. I mean, just great stuff. I mean, I just can't think enough of the 3 guys that's on this thing, outside of myself and Mischeal, but Richard and Charles and Antonio. Winston-Salem is absolutely proud of y'all. I don't care what y'all, man, you guys, we watch you. We are proud of you. We want you to succeed, and we are celebrating your success. And we're glad that you're bringing your gift back to the Book of Mischeal. It is on and popping October the 8th at 5 o'clock. Listen, y'all, we got to go. We done been on here longer than we were supposed to be.
Hey, look, and I'll say this in closing. I said this to Mitt. I say this project, not that you haven't done projects before. I said, but I feel like now this project will put you with your peers, the Donna Lawrences, the Fred Hammonds, the Ty Tribbett's.
Wow.
Yeah. And not that it hasn't been before, but it's something different about it. And again, man, I told you before, the heart of you and you reaching out saying, I want you to be a part. You know, you don't, it's an honor when people call and when people ask. And it's not something that we take for granted because we got relationship, but because of the relationship, it makes it easy to come.
Wow.
And again, I tell you again, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All of you. Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I want to encourage every vocalist who may watch this. Let me about myself. I served with Mischeal for a season, and I'm a firm believer that you sow into where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I encourage every singer who desires to do something on another level, on maybe a greater platform or whatever the case may be, serve into another man or woman's vision. Serve, sow, build with them, encourage them, avail your hands, avail your voices into another man's work, and watch what God does for you. Charles hit the nail on the head in terms of our upbringing, and a lot of what we gained in terms of our foundation was in church. We served.
Mm-hmm.
You might have had a gig on Friday and Saturday or whatever the case may be, but on Sunday morning, you were in your respective houses serving.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever lose your posture of serving. Don't ever lose your posture of sowing, into another man's vision. Buy a ticket. Even if you're not able to be there, buy a ticket for someone else. Because you never know, it might be your season and you would need somebody to sow into what it is that God has given you
Mm-hmm.
to do.
That's right.
So I wholeheartedly encourage you, serve and sow.
That's a T-shirt.
Yep. Serve and sow.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to write that down. Somebody make us a T-shirt. Serve and sow.
Serve and sow.
Mischeal, you get final words tonight, sir. The platform is yours.
Yeah, I want to thank all my brothers on here they're helping me with the book of mission. Not just them, the admin team, all the singers, the other musicians, everyone that's bought a ticket, you're about to buy a ticket, all of those that supported me over the years, for the last 20, almost 30 years at this point. So I thank God for all of you. I believe God is doing something great. That night is it's called the Book of Mission because it's music that I wrote. But that night is not just about me, man. It's about all of us coming together and yielding our gifts, man, and watching God do something amazing. I believe 2023 is going to be an amazing year. I think right now it's just our preparation, and God is going to do something amazing. And those that come, not only those that come, that those that may see the video or hear the music, I believe God is going to do something wonderful for you. You're going to be encouraged. We got some great music, some great singers, great production. And God's going to do something amazing. So, Bishop, I thank you for yielding your platform for the last month, I guess, at this point, allowing me to come on and discuss it, about the book of Mischeal. So I'm excited about it. I'm trying to save my voice and not do a lot of screaming and laughing.
Really?
That's what I heard that real clear.
Really?
Yeah, that's what that is. I'm trying
I
to,
love it. I love
yeah,
it.
I
That's
heard
right,
that.
leader.
I
That's
learned, I
right,
learned,
leader.
I learned very quickly.
That's right, leader. That's right.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be wide open that night, so I'm trying to hold it in. But man, look, God gonna move and we gonna have fun. It's gonna be amazing. I promise y'all, there's gonna be a move of God from the time we get started to the time it's over. God is gonna move. I'm really trusting that some people are gonna be set free. They're gonna be encouraged, God, to stay with God, to walk in who they are. We got songs that talk about your purpose. And so I just believe God gonna do something amazing, man. I thank you all. I'm excited about next Saturday. So see y'all there.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you for joining me behind the veil. Please join me tomorrow so you can possibly get your tickets to come check out the Book of Mischeal. It's happening October the 8th. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Antonio. Hey, man, I probably need to get y'all back so we can talk about y'all personal experience. To Mischeal Goldsmith, thank you. Listen, y'all, we got to go.
Yeah.
It's been good, but y'all check this out and y'all keep on doing it. I would play some music, but Charles is on here and Antonio, and I don't want them judging our music right now.
Man, get out of here.
I,
Get
I
out.
want them judging our music right now. So y'all,
we gonna do that no matter when you play it.
Right. Right. I'm glad you ain't got your moonshine glass.
Got my
Yeah,
cup.
yeah,
With
you
the
got your
red cup.
red cup.
Oh, I need Gerard on here tonight. I need Gerard on here tonight.
You see how far he reached for that?
Oh, yeah, it was there all the time.
All the time.
I
All the
had to
time.
put it out of view. Had to put it out of view. I love you guys.
All right.
Listen,
Love you
y'all
too.
stay on. Peace,
All
y'all.
right.
We got to go. Thank y'all for joining us behind the veil. I'm Stephen Williams. They call me the good bishop, and ain't nobody good like our God. Till our next appointed time. Thanks for joining us. Bye, y'all.
Peace.